Emma never expected a simple message to change her entire week. She never expected one word, yes, to pull her out of the quiet, tired place she had sunk into. But that night, as the rain tapped on her apartment window in Seattle, she stood in front of her mirror with her coat halfway on, staring at her reflection like she wasn't sure who she was anymore. Her hair was messy from the long walk home. Her eyes were heavy from too many late nights at work, and her heart felt slow, heavy, almost numb. It was one of those evenings where a person feels like they're standing on the edge of giving up on everything fun, everything light, everything human. Don't, she whispered to herself. Maybe I'll cancel. She could have. She could have curled up on her couch, watched shows until she fell asleep, and told her friends she was tired. They would have understood. They always did. But then her phone buzzed. A notification lit up the darkroom. A message from Liam. Please come tonight. It's been too long. It won't feel right without you. For a moment, she didn't breathe. Liam, the name alone did something to her. He had been her closest friend in college, the person who understood her in ways she didn't even understand herself. Work, life, and distance had separated them over the past few years. But the connection between them never fully disappeared. It stayed quietly alive, like a small light that refused to go out. Maybe that was why the message hit her so strongly. It wasn't a dramatic message, nothing poetic or emotional, but something in the way he wrote it made her heart warm in a way she couldn't ignore. She could almost hear his voice, soft, genuine, familiar. Emma's thumb hovered over the keyboard. She typed 2 words, "I'm coming," and hit send. In that moment, she felt something shift inside her, a spark of energy, a little hope. Something she couldn't name yet, but something real. She grabbed her coat, tied her hair into a loose ponytail, and stepped out into the cold Seattle night. Maya's apartment sat on the 6th floor of an old building downtown, glowing with warm yellow light like a beacon in the middle of the rainy city. Even from the hallway, Emma could hear laughter, music, and the buzz of people talking over each other. It felt alive. It felt warm when she knocked. The door swung open immediately, Emma. Maya shouted, pulling her into a hug that nearly lifted her off the ground. "You're here. I knew you wouldn't let work swallow you forever." Emma laughed for the first time all day. "I almost stayed home." "Well, thank God you didn't," Maya said. Come on. Everyone's inside." Emma stepped in, and the room wrapped around her like a hug. Soft music played from the kitchen speaker. String lights glowed around the windows. Friends sat on the couch with cups of tea and sparkling water, talking loudly. The smell of pizza filled the air. It felt like a life she had forgotten, she once loved. And then she saw him. Liam, he stood near the counter, sleeves rolled up, a bottle of lemon sparkling water in one hand. When he looked up and saw her, his smile softened in a way that felt personal, like it was meant only for her. "Hey," he said as he walked over. "Hey," she replied, trying to sound normal even though her heart wasn't cooperating. "I'm glad you came." "Really," he said. "It feels right with you here." Her breath caught for a moment, but she smiled. "Same." He looked at her for one quiet second, longer than normal. Then Maya yelled from across the room, "Group photo!" And the moment broke as everyone rushed together, laughing and squeezing into the frame. The night began for real. The group played games, told stories, argued over whether pineapple belonged on pizza, and teased each other about old memories. Emma felt herself slipping back into ease, into comfort, into something she had missed without even realizing it. Each time she laughed, Liam looked at her. Each time he talked, she leaned in without thinking. It was natural. Too natural. Like something old had been waiting to come back to life. Later, someone suggested stepping onto the balcony for fresh air. The night was cool, the rain thin and misty, the city lights reflecting off wet streets like scattered stars. Most of the group drifted inside and out, chatting in small clusters. Somehow, Emma ended up standing next to Liam. She didn't know who moved first, maybe both of them did. But they ended up leaning on the balcony railing side by side, staring at the sparkling view. Seattle looked quiet and peaceful from up here, almost like a postcard. "You look lighter tonight," Liam said after a moment. "Lighter?" she asked. "Yeah," he said. "Like there's a weight off your shoulders." Emma let out a breath. "Maybe it's because I needed this more than I thought." He nodded slowly, eyes on the city. "I get it. I think we all forget how much we need each other sometimes, especially when everything feels heavy." She turned toward him. "You noticed?" He looked back at her. "I always notice when you're not yourself." That made something warm spread through her chest. For a long moment, they didn't say anything. The only sound was the soft hum of the city below and the quiet chatter from inside. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't uncomfortable. It felt like the kind of silence shared by two people who knew each other deeply. Even after years apart, Emma looked down at her hands. "Liam, I've been feeling lost lately. I don't know why. She paused, unsure how to finish. He didn't rush her. He didn't push. Instead, he said softly, "You don't have to explain everything. Sometimes it's enough to just show up." Her eyes stung a little knot in a painful way, but in that emotional way that happens when someone understands you too easily. Before she could respond, the sliding door burst open. Everyone inside. Maya called, "We're playing Truth or Dare, and it's going to get dramatic." Emma laughed under her breath. Liam gave her a small smile. "Ready for chaos?" he asked. "Not even a little," she said. But she followed him inside anyway. The living room filled quickly. People sat on the floor, on chairs, on cushions. The atmosphere turned playful and unpredictable, but in a harmless way. No one crossed boundaries. No one embarrassed anyone. It was fun, simple, like exactly what Emma needed. Liam sat beside her, close enough that she could feel the warmth of his shoulder whenever he shifted at one point. When the bottle spun and pointed at Emma, Maya wiggled her eyebrows. "Truth or dare?" "Truth," Emma said, choosing safety. Maya leaned in. "Are you talking to someone? Like, interested in anyone?" Emma felt heat rise to her cheeks. She opened her mouth, then closed it. She wasn't talking to anyone. But her heart knew exactly who she thought about too often. Her eyes flicked unintentionally toward Liam. He noticed. He definitely noticed. Not really," Emma said finally. "Life's been complicated, boo." Maya teased. "We need more romance in this group." Liam laughed, but he looked at Emma with a softness she recognized. A softness that scared her a little. A softness she secretly loved as the game continued. The group laughed harder, talked louder, and the night grew warmer around them. But beneath the noise, Emma felt something shift quietly between her and Liam. Like a thin line of electricity had settled in the space between them. Something was different. She could feel it. And from the way Liam kept glancing at her, he felt it too. Hours later, when the rain turned heavier and the city outside grew darker and calmer, the group began packing up. People hugged goodbye, thanking Maya for the night. Emma helped gather cups and plates in the kitchen. Liam stepped beside her as she rinsed dishes. "You okay?" he asked softly. She nodded. "Yeah, I think tonight was what I needed." "Good," he said. "I hoped it would be." She looked at him. "Why?" He hesitated but didn't look away. "Because you matter to me. More than you know." Her heart skipped a beat. She didn't respond. She wasn't ready. She didn't know what words belonged there, but the moment felt warm, real, alive. Before she could say anything, Maya appeared behind them. "Don't forget your jackets. It's cold outside." Emma blinked. The moment dissolving dot, Liam stepped back slightly. "We'll talk later," he said softly. She didn't know if later meant 10 minutes or 10 months. But for the first time in a long time, the uncertainty didn't scare her. It felt like hope. Something was beginning between them, something gentle, romantic, emotional. Something she wasn't ready to name, but something she couldn't ignore. And deep in her heart, she knew this night wasn't just a hangout. It was the start of something, something she never expected. Something amazing. Emma didn't sleep much that night. Even after she got home, kicked off her wet shoes, and changed into soft pajamas. Her mind replayed every laugh, every glance, every quiet second with Liam, the memory of his smile. The warmth in his eyes, the way he made her feel noticed it, all lingered. She realized she hadn't felt this awake, this alive. In months, the clock on her nightstand ticked past midnight. But she stayed on her couch, staring out at the city lights from her window. The rain had stopped, leaving the streets glistening under the street lamps. Everything felt still, almost magical. And somewhere in the quiet, thought crept into her mind. Maybe this night wasn't just a night with friends. It was more the next morning. Sunlight filtered softly through the blinds, painting golden stripes across her bedroom floor. Emma woke to the memory of the night and a strange mix of excitement and hesitation. She tried to text Liam, but stopped. How do you text someone when you don't know what to say? Thanks for noticing me. I had a great time. Both sounded too simple, too small for what she felt. Instead, she put on her jacket and decided to take a walk. The streets of Seattle were calm, people rushing to work, some sipping coffee at small corner cafes. Emma's thoughts wandered back to Liam. She remembered the balcony, the way he had looked at her like she was more than just a friend. She realized she had been waiting for that look without even knowing it, and now that she had felt it, she couldn't stop thinking about him. Later that day, the group texted about another casual meetup at a local rooftop cafe. Emma hesitated for a moment. She had work, she had errands, she had reasons not to go. But something inside nudged her. Something told her to see Liam again. By the time she arrived, Liam was already there. Casually leaning against the railing, coffee in hand, sunglasses slightly tipped on his nose. When he saw her, his face lit up with that same warm smile, and Emma felt her stomach flutter. "Hey," he said as she approached. "Hey," she replied, smiling, trying to act casual, though her heart raced. "Glad you came," he said. "I was hoping you would." She nodded, unsure how to respond. Words felt too ordinary for what she wanted to say. Instead, she let her smile answer him. The rooftop was quiet, the city below buzzing softly. The friends were scattered, talking in small groups, but Emma and Liam found themselves gravitating to each other naturally. The air between them felt light, charged. Like the night before had left a trace of something delicate. "You were quiet yesterday," Liam said, leaning against the railing. Looking at her. I wasn't sure how to be," she admitted. "It's been a long time since I've felt this," he asked gently, tilting his head. "Alive," she said simply. Not just alive, but... Seeing Liam's eyes softened. "I've noticed you," he said quietly. "Always. Even when life gets busy. Even when we don't talk for months." Emma's chest tightened. She realized she had been holding her breath for years, waiting for someone to see her. And now, standing beside him, she felt it. Finally, someone had. The conversation flowed easily after that, soft and meaningful. They talked about everything: work, dreams, funny memories from college, even little fears they had never shared with anyone else. Emma laughed more than she had in months. Liam laughed too, but there was a gentle intensity in the way he looked at her at one point. A quiet moment settled between them, a pause in the noise of the city and the soft hum of conversation around them. Emma turned to him, her voice barely above a whisper. "Liam, do you ever think about what could be?" He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he reached out and brushed a strand of hair from her face. His hand lingered just a second longer than necessary, and Emma's heart jumped. "I do," he said finally. "More than I probably should." She felt a warmth spread through her, equal parts nervousness and excitement. Her fingers brushed his lightly. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't loud, but it was intimate, small. And it meant everything. The friends called out for a group selfie, and they stepped back reluctantly. But Emma caught Liam's eye, and something unspoken passed between them. They laughed with the group, but the quiet pull between them remained. It was like they had discovered a new language, one only they could understand, as the sun dipped lower, painting the sky in pink and gold. Emma felt a longing she hadn't felt before. She realized that she didn't want the night to end, not the laughter, not the stories, not this closeness with Liam. And then, in a moment of quiet courage, she said, "Stay a little longer." Liam smiled, that warm, gentle smile that made her heart feel full. "I was hoping you'd say that." They stayed as the evening settled, the city lights turning on one by one. The world seemed to slow around them. Emma leaned against the railing, Liam beside her, their shoulders brushing occasionally. It was a simple gesture, but every touch felt electric. "I feel like we've missed so much," Emma said softly, looking out at the skyline. "We did," Liam admitted. "But maybe this is how it was supposed to be. We just needed the timing to be right." Emma nodded, feeling a mix of relief and hope. The timing felt right now. For the first time in a long time, she felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. The night deepened, and eventually the group began to leave one by one. Emma found herself walking beside Liam down the quiet streets, the cool air wrapping around them like a blanket. The city was alive, but it felt intimate, like it belonged only to them in that moment. "You know," Liam said, breaking the comfortable silence, "I never stopped thinking about us, about what we could be." Emma's heart skipped. "Neither did I," she admitted. They paused at a small park, the streetlights casting a soft glow around them. Liam turned toward her, gently taking her hands in his. "Emma," he said, his voice quiet but certain, "I don't want to wait anymore. I don't want to miss this chance with you." Her chest tightened, emotions rushing all at once. She could feel the love, the longing, the history between them, and she knew he felt it too. I've wanted this too," she whispered. And in that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the past, not the work, not the chaos of life. Just them, together. Finally acknowledging what had been quietly growing for years, they walked slowly back toward Emma's apartment, their hands brushing, their steps in sync. The air was filled with a quiet excitement, the kind that comes from knowing something wonderful is beginning. When they reached her building, Liam paused. "Can I see you again tomorrow?" he asked. Emma smiled, feeling a surge of warmth. "Yes," she said, and the word felt right, complete, full of promise. He leaned in, just close enough for her to feel his presence, and said softly, "Good night, Emma. Tonight." "Was perfect." "It really was," she replied, her heart full, her mind racing with happiness. And as she watched him walk away, disappearing into the night, Emma realized something profound. She had said yes to a night with friends. And in doing so, she had found something far greater than she had ever expected. She had found connection, hope, and a chance at love that felt real, warm, and lasting. The next day, Emma woke with a sense of joy she hadn't felt in years. Messages from friends came in, teasing her about the night, sharing photos and laughing emojis. But her mind kept returning to Liam. She smiled at every memory, the way he had looked at her, the quiet moments, the hand brushing against hers. It wasn't a dramatic romance, not yet. It wasn't fireworks or declarations. It was quiet, beautiful, and steady, the kind of love that felt safe, real, and inevitable. Emma knew that this was only the beginning. The first night had opened a door. And now, every conversation, every glance, every shared laugh had the possibility of building something extraordinary. The night she almost stayed home had become the night that changed everything. And Emma, for the first time in a long time, felt completely alive.